I've been wondering about giving feedback in contact improvisation as a teacher, to a partner. My last workshop, on the second to the last afternoon, I said, tomorrow I'm going to be giving everybody feedback on their dancing. And at the end of that day, this woman came up to me and she was quite concerned in her face, and she said, Martin, I just have a question here. Are we going to have to dance in front of everybody and then you're going to give us a critique? And I said, well, actually, I never used the word critique. I said that I'm going to give everybody some feedback. And her saying that actually made me begin to think more and more about what is it that we talk to when we give feedback. And I know sometimes I will make an intervention if I feel like there's something dangerous happening. And this is sometimes in a workshop, more often at a jam, where I will see somebody or a pair of people where the partner might get injured, or more likely they're going to injure somebody in another dance or duet in the room. And in that case, I will be fairly direct. Actually, in the beginning, no, I might dance nearby and do some touching to see if that can calm things down a little bit. I might join the dance and be part of it to see if I can effect a change that way. But if not, I will say something like, listen, the way you're dancing is really scaring me, and I'm really afraid somebody's going to get hurt. Could you please be more aware of everybody in the room? I might do something direct that way. But in my teaching, because we all enter the form from so many different doorways, what do I have to offer in my feedback? And I've realized that if my feedback can open worlds for people, that it's valuable. And sometimes it might be prescriptive. It's like something that's completely not there that would really round out their dancing in a certain way. Or it might be descriptive. It might be something that I'm just beginning to see appear, and by giving the feedback and then becoming aware of what they're already doing, it will open up that world more quickly for them. So here's one that could be either descriptive or prescriptive. I might see somebody who's dancing, and wherever they go, their head stays on the vertical axis. They go to the floor, it stays on the vertical axis, always in this relationship to the room. Or I might see somebody who's just beginning to go off the vertical and to get into this bigger spherical dance. And for either of those, I might say to them, you know, if you were to imagine that you have eyes like fish in the side of your head that can see the entire room, I think something will open in your dancing. Or I might be more direct and say, you know, you're beginning to let your head go off the vertical, play with that, as a way to open worlds in the dancing. I sometimes, because often when people come to the dance in the beginning in anticipation of weight, they dance with a very wide stance. And I will say, oh, for the next 3 months, play with a narrow stance. It's so funny because I give 3 months or 6 months or 8 months, but I often say to people, take the next 20 years to begin your investigation of spirals. So feedback, sometimes it's prescriptive, sometimes it's descriptive, but for me, it's always about this edge of where a person is about to start, their worlds, their vista is about to open up. And I'm always trying to give feedback to that edge. So if you have anything about how you give feedback, please write it below. I'd love to hear about it. Other people will too. And thank you for joining me on my blog here in beautiful Salt Spring Island. How do we ferry people into greater and greater dances? Bye-bye.